Before starting the class today, Srinivas has posted some questions to me, right? See, actually, in the yesterday's class, what happened is when I was asking questions person by person, by mistake, I skipped Srinivas, right? So he has posted some questions to me. First, let me answer his questions. Let me copy this and see. His company code is 3388, and in this company code, there are 6 vendors and 2 house banks like HDFC and ICICI. So, for the first 3 vendors, I want to make payment from HDFC, and for the remaining 3 vendors, I want to make the payment from ICICI. How to do this through APP? Here, proposal is generated, right? So proposal, when you are executing the payment program, right? First we give the parameters. So there you enter the vendor numbers. Then second phase is proposal is generated. Proposal is the list of vendors for whom the checks are to be printed, and for every vendor, the system also shows the list of invoices that are going to be paid. So in the proposal phase, if you double click on the vendor number, it will show the list of invoices for the vendor. And again, if you double click on the invoices, individual invoices, you can change the house bank and payment method. No? So you don't change the payment method, you change the house bank. So for the first 3 vendors, means for the line items or for the due invoices of the first 3 vendors, you double click on the invoices and you enter the house bank HDFC. And for the line items of the remaining 3 vendors, again you enter ICICI Bank. This is what I told you, Srinivas, in WhatsApp. Clear now? If it is clear to you, I will go to next question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then, see the second question. At a time, for how many vendors, for how many company codes, we can run APP? For multiple number of company codes, there is no any limit to the number of company codes we can run APP at a time. One second. See here, you can enter any number of company codes separated by commas. And you can see the scroll bar here. As you go on entering the company codes, the scroll down will be coming down. Okay? That is the answer to your second question. Then, in the vendor master record, there is a payment method check. While running APP in F110, the payment method B is there. In this case, can we make the payment? No, it's not possible to make the payment to vendor. All the payment methods should be assigned in the vendor master record. But if you assign only some payment methods in the vendor master record, while executing the payment program, if the payment method is not entered there, system will not select that vendor. The payment method given in the vendor master record and the payment method entered at the time of executing payment program should match. Then only the system will consider that vendor into payment program. This is clear? Now, what is delta depreciation? It is relating to asset accounting. Here you have we have different depreciation areas. So we have the book depreciation area and we have the tax depreciation area. So the book depreciation is calculated for the purpose of balance sheet preparation and tax depreciation is calculated for the purpose of submitting your income tax returns. The difference between these two depreciation areas is always called delta depreciation. Means the difference between two depreciation areas is called delta depreciation. So the delta depreciation area is to be separately defined in the chart of accounts. In the chart of depreciation. So that is the meaning of delta depreciation. Clear, Srinivas? But my humble request is, okay, it's okay, no problem. I'll give the message in the WhatsApp. Now,
Hello, sir.
yeah, Gadi.
Sorry, as far as first question concerned, if we wanted to make every time few vendors with the same house bank, we can assign in the house bank column, right? In the vendor, in the invoice itself,
Yes,
an
yes.
additional data.
Yes, exactly. See, in the vendor master record, in the company code data, there is house bank and account ID, right? So if you assign the house bank and account ID there, then every time the system makes the payment to vendors from that house bank only.
Thank you, sir.
So yesterday we have created 15 GL accounts. Now assignment of accounts for automatic postings. In yesterday's class, I explained you why we have to assign the GL accounts in for automatic postings. Transaction code A090. Now you can understand what is the second function of the account determination keys. I told you that the account determination keys are used to identify the asset classes. That's why at the time of creating the asset classes, we have assigned the respective account determination key. The next function is it helps the system to identify the GL accounts to be updated for the asset business transactions in the asset classes. That second function I am going to explain you now. Chart of depreciation is equal to 3366. That sentence is not there in the material. You can add it. Chart of depreciation is equal to 3366. Click on enter. Select 3366 chart of accounts. Select 3366 chart of accounts. Double click on account determination. Select 10,000 landline. Double click on balance sheet accounts. Now look at the screen. Here in the chart of accounts 3366, for the account determination key 10,000, we are assigning the GL accounts here. Now, at the time of creating asset classes, the account determination 10,000 was assigned in the land class. So, this account assignment is applicable to land class. So, that is the important function of the account determination key. Acquisition account assignment. So, balance sheet account APC. Balance sheet account acquisition and production cost. Acquisition and production cost is nothing but acquisition cost. So balance sheet account APC means acquisition account. If you purchase the land, what is the GL account that has to be updated? Land account, 2 lakhs. Then retirement account assignment. Loss made on asset retirement without revenue. Without revenue means scrapping. So if you scrap the land, what is the GL account to be updated? We never scrap the land. In that case, you need not assign any GL account there. But technically, if you want, you can assign the GL account. 4,303. Last it is scrapping. Technically, if you want, you can assign. That's why I assigned it. Clearing account revenue from asset sale. Clearing account revenue from asset sale means temporary account, which is to be updated when the asset is sold. What is the temporary account here? Sale of asset account. Gain from asset sale. If you sell the land and if you get the profit, it has to be transferred to profit on sale of asset. And loss on sale of asset. If you sell the land and if you get the loss, it has to be updated to loss on sale of asset. 4,302. So these accounts are assigned under the account determination key 10,000. The account determination key 10,000 was assigned in the land class. So these GL accounts are applicable for the land class. Whenever these business transactions take place in the land class, these GL accounts are updated. Clear? That is the important function of account determination key. And we don't calculate depreciation on the land. So don't assign any GL accounts for depreciation calculation. If you want to assign the GL accounts for depreciation calculation, double click on depreciation. Click on save. Now you have to assign the GL accounts for buildings. Click on back arrow twice. In the buildings class, we have assigned 11,000, right? So select 11,000 account determination key. Double click on balanced accounts. Balanced account APC. Do one thing in your material. Acquisition and production cost is there. You can make it as in your material. Acquisition and production cost is there. You make it as balanced account APC. Balanced account APC. So if you purchase the building, buildings account is to be debited, no? 2,05,000. Again, retirement account assignment. Loss made on asset retirement without revenue. Means if you scrap the building, 4,303. Clearing account revenue from asset sale. If you sell the building, first of all, the sale proceeds are to be transferred to sale of asset account temporarily. 3,100. If you sell the building and if you get the profit, that has to be transferred to profit on sale of asset. 3,101. And if you sell the building and if you get the loss, that has to be transferred to loss on sale of asset. 4,302. Now we calculate depreciation on the buildings. We have to assign the GL accounts for depreciation calculation. Double click on depreciation. See, ordinary depreciation account assignment. Accumulated depreciation account for ordinary depreciation. When you calculate depreciation on the buildings, what is the accumulated depreciation account to be updated? Accumulated depreciation on buildings. That is 1,200,000. Expense account for ordinary depreciation. Expense account means depreciation account. 4,500,000. Click on save. Now, see the material. Go back twice. Assign accounts for all the remaining asset classes in the same way. So, plant and machinery. In the plant and machinery, we have assigned 20,000 account determination key, right? So, select 20,000. Double click on balanced accounts. Balanced account APC. If you purchase the plant and machinery account is to be debited. 2,20,000. Sorry, 2,10,000. Retirement account assignment. If you scrap the plant and machinery, it has to be, the book value of the scrapped plant and machinery has to be transferred to loss due to scrapping. If you sell the plant and machinery, the sale proceeds are to be temporarily transferred to sale of asset. 3,100,000. Gain from asset sale. If you sell the plant and machinery and if you get the profit, it has to be transferred to profit on sale of asset. 3,101,000. Loss from asset sale. If you sell the plant and machinery and if you get the loss, that has to be transferred to loss on sale of asset. So 4,302. Double click on depreciation. See, account by mistake I have given wrong account number. 30,101 I have given. Three lakh 101. Double click on depreciation. Accumulated depreciation of plant and machinery. 1,205. Depreciation account. 4,500. Click on save. Click on back arrow twice. We have to assign the GL accounts for furniture. In the furniture class, we have assigned 30,000. So select 30,000 fixtures and fittings. Double click on balanced accounts. Balanced account APC, furniture account, 2,15,000. Loss made on asset retirement without revenue. If you scrap the furniture, the book value has to be transferred to loss due to scrapping, 4,303. Clearing account revenue from asset sale. If you sell the furniture, temporarily the sale proceeds are to be transferred to sale of asset. Gain from asset sale. If you sell the furniture and if you get the profit, it has to be transferred to profit on sale of asset. Loss from asset sale. If you sell the furniture and if you get the loss, that has to be transferred to loss on sale of asset. That is 4,302. Double click on depreciation. When the system calculates the depreciation of the furniture, the entry to be posted is depreciation account data to accumulated depreciation on furniture, right? So accumulated depreciation account for ordinary depreciation 1,210. And expense account for ordinary depreciation, that is depreciation account 4,500. Click on save. In the same way, you have to assign the GL accounts for vehicles. Click on back arrow twice. In the vehicles class, we assigned 31,000 account determination. Double click on balanced accounts. If you purchase the vehicle, vehicles account is to be debited, right? So 2,20,000 for balanced account APC. Loss made on asset retirement without revenue. If you scrap the vehicle, the book value has to be transferred to loss due to scrapping. That is 4,303. Clearing account revenue from asset sale. So if you sell the vehicle, temporarily the sales value is to be transferred to sale of asset. 3,100. Gain from asset sale. If you sell the vehicle and if you get the profit, it has to be transferred to profit on sale of asset. 3,101. Loss from asset sale. If you sell the vehicle and if you get the loss, that has to be transferred to loss on sale of asset. 4,302. Then we have to assign the GL accounts for depreciation. Double click on depreciation. Accumulated depreciation on vehicles 1,215. Depreciation account 4,500. Click on save. Now we have to assign the GL accounts for assets under construction. Click on back arrow twice. In the assets under construction, 40,000. We assigned 40,000 account determination. Double click on 40,000. Select 40,000. Double click on balanced accounts. If you issue any materials or if you incur any expenses on any asset under construction, to which account that has to be posted? Assets under construction account, right? Or capital work in progress. So 2,25,000. Loss made on asset retirement. Sometimes you may scrap the half erected plant and machineries. In that case, the book value has to be transferred to loss due to scrapping. Sometimes you may sell the half completed building. In that case, the sale proceeds are to be transferred to sale of asset. Gain from asset sale. Gain from asset sale. Sometimes you may sell half completed building, and in that case, if you get the profit, that has to be transferred to profit on sale of asset. And sometimes you may sell, when you sell the half completed building of half erected plant and machineries, if you get the loss, that has to be transferred to loss on sale of asset. Clear? And we don't calculate depreciation on the assets under construction. So you need not assign any GL accounts there. So this is, suppose if you have the 50 asset classes, we have to assign the GL accounts for 50 asset classes. Then see the step number 11, define multi-level methods. So what is multi-level method? Put heading in the notes, please. It is not there in the material. Put heading multi-level methods. Using different combinations of depreciation methods and rates, using different combinations of depreciation methods and rates during the different phases of expected useful life of the asset. During the different phases of expected useful life of the asset. The multi-level methods are assigned in the depreciation key. The multi-level methods are assigned in the depreciation key. So what is depreciation key? We will discuss later on. First, let us try to understand what is multi-level method. So after defining the multi-level method, the multi-level methods are assigned in the depreciation key. That we will discuss later on. Here we purchased one asset. Acquisition date of asset, let us say 1/1/2017. Expected useful life 10 years. Then on this particular asset, the management wants to calculate depreciation like this. From 1/1/2017 to 31st December 17, 18, 19, 2019, that is for 3 years. First to 3 years, the management wants to use straight line method, %5. Then from 1/1/2020 to 31st March 2021, 22, 23. 2023, that is for 4 years. The management wants to use written down value method, 5%. But from 1/1/2024 to 31st December 2026, for next 3 years, again the management wants to use straight line method, 7%. This is called multi-level method. So here these are different combinations of depreciation methods and rates, right? and these are different phases of expected useful life of asset. This is called multi-level method. So theoretically and also sometimes generally, the management or the accounts department will use same method and rate of depreciation throughout the life of the enterprise. Suppose, for example, on some of the assets, we use straight line method 5% throughout the life of the asset. Then, on some of the asset, the accounts department wants to use return on value method 5% throughout the life of the asset. But when it comes to reality, this may also may be the requirement, right? In that case, this is called multi-level method. So first to write down this, I will show you how to define this method. You have to write it, right? Because the configuration is related to this. Write down this, I will tell you how to define this. Now, see, before defining this, first you have to understand what is the difference between straight line method and return on value method. See, in the case of straight line method, the depreciation is always calculated on the acquisition value. So acquisition value is called base value in the case of straight line method. But in the written down value method, this written down value method is also called with different names, reducing balances method or diminishing balances method or written down value method. In the case of written down value method, the depreciation is calculated on the net book value. So the net book value is called acquisition value in the case of written down value method. So difference is with reference to base value. In the case of straight line method, base value means the value on which depreciation is calculated. So in the case of straight line method, the base value is always acquisition value, but in the case of written down value method, the base value is always net book value. With this difference, if you understand, then we will see how to define these methods. First, I am going to show you how to define the multi-level method. If the requirement of the management is to use straight line method 5% throughout the life of the enterprise. And also, if the requirement of the management is to define return on value method 5% throughout the life of the asset. So how to define these two methods? Then first we will see how to define those two methods. Then we will see how to define this method. Okay. Transaction code AFAMS. Transaction code AFAMS. Click on new entries. Multi-level method is equal to give some name AB1. Multi-level method is equal to AB1. I think description is not there in the material. Add the description. Description is equal to multi-level method number 1. Description is equal to multi-level method number 1. Validity start is equal to from the RD depreciation start date, means from the day this multi-level method AB1 is applicable from the day from which you start calculating depreciation. Click on save. Double click on levels. Click on new entries. Acquisition year is equal to all nines. I will tell you what is this. Acquisition year is equal to all nines. Years is 999. Period 12. So here I am going to define straight line method 5%, right? In the straight line method, I told you the base value is acquisition value. So if you press on F4, 0, 1 stands for acquisition value. So these base values were already defined in the system. So we cannot create our own base values, right? So 0, 1, acquisition value, percentage 5%. So on the base value, on the acquisition value of asset, system will calculate 5%. Means straight line method 5%. But how this is related to asset? We are just defining under the chart of depreciation, right? But how this is related to asset? That I will show you at the time of creating asset master record. Click on save. So here I have given acquisition year all nines. Means in any year you purchase the asset. Whether you purchase the asset 2 lakh 17, 2 lakh 19, 2 lakh 18, 2 lakh 20, 2 lakh 100, sorry, I am sorry. Acquisition year we have entered 9999 means in any year you purchase the asset, whether you purchase the asset in 2017, 2018 or 2020 or 2100 also, for 999 years of expected life of asset. Any asset in the world will have this much life? No. But here we have given 999. Means for 999 years of expected life of asset. Means throughout the expected life of the asset. And for the whole periods of 12 months, on the acquisition value 0, 1, system will apply 5%. Suppose if you want to apply this multi-level method only for those assets which are purchased in 2017, then in the acquisition year 2017, then for 10 years means in the years place you enter 10. Now see the material. Click on back arrow twice. Click on next entry button. Multi-level method is equal to AB2. Multi-level method is equal to AB2. Description is not there. Description is equal to multi-level method number 2. Validity start is equal to from ordinary depreciation start date. Validity start is equal to from ordinary depreciation start date. Click on save. Double click on levels. Double click on levels. Click on new entries. Acquisition year again all nines. Years 999. Period 12. Now I want to use written down value method. So in the written down value method, base value is what? Net book value. So 24. Net book value. Base value is equal to 24. Net book value percentage 5. Click on save. So in this way, we can define all the multi-level methods. But how to define this type of multi-level method? Go back to notes, please. To define above multi-level method, write down. To define above multi-level method, just give me 1 minute. Yes, to define above multi-level method, go to the transaction code AFAMS. Go to the transaction code AFAMS. Click on new entries. Multi-level method is equal to multi-level method is equal to AB3. Multi-level method is equal to AB3. description is equal to multi-level method number 3. Validity start is equal to from the ordinary depreciation start date, from the ordinary depreciation start date, click on save, click on save. Then double click on levels, click on new entries. Then you write one table like this. First column is acquisition year. Next column is years. Next column is periods. Next column is base value. Next column percentage. Next column percentage. Now, under the acquisition year, what is the year of purchase? 2017, right? So, under the acquisition year 2017, years. What is the length of the first phase? 3 years. So, years 3, periods 0. Means the length of the first phase is exactly 3 years. Suppose if the length of the first phase is 3 years 5 months, in the place of periods we enter 5. If it is 3.5 years, we enter 6 in the place of periods. So the length of the first phase is exactly 3 years. So in the periods place, we enter 0. Base value. In the first phase, I want to use straight line method. The base value for the straight line method is 0.1. Percentage 5%. So we have defined the first phase. Then again, acquisition year 2017, years 7. We have to enter accumulated value. The length of the first phase is 3 years. Length of the second phase is 4 years. 3 plus 4, 7. We have to enter accumulated value. Period 0. Then base value. In the second phase, we want to use return on value method. And for the return on value method, the base value is 24%, 5%. Then again, acquisition year 2017, years are 10. Third phase length is 3 years. Period 0. Base value 0.1. Again, the management wants to shift to straight line method from 8th year. 7%. Click on save. Now, see the next step. So, one more thing here is, this multi-level method is applicable to all those assets which are purchased in 2017. But one more requirement of the management here is, the management wants to use this multi-level method for all the assets purchased in any year. In that case, in the acquisition year, we enter 9999, nothing else. Clear? Next, maintain period control methods. So what is the period control method? Put heading in the notes again, please. Period control methods. Period control methods. These are the keys These are the keys which represents the time frame. These are the keys which represents the time frame for which the depreciation is to be calculated. For which the depreciation is to be calculated. In the case of acquisitions, additions, transfers, and retirements. Already 5 period control methods were defined in the system. Already 5 period control methods were defined in the system. When the new chart of depreciation was defined, the system automatically assigns these 5 period control methods. The system automatically assigns these 5 period control methods to that chart of depreciation. In addition, we can define our own period control methods also. So first let us do the step, then again I will explain. Means here not sometimes, you purchase the asset in the middle of the month, from which date the depreciation is to be calculated. You add some other assets during some time of the month. In that case, from which date the depreciation is to be calculated. Right? So these are controlled by period control methods. So while doing the step, again I will explain. Transaction code AFAM. See, our chart of depreciation 3366, right? Then all these 5 methods were already assigned there. So these 5 period control methods were already created in the system. So when the new chart of depreciation is created, the system automatically assigns these 5 period control methods to this chart of depreciation. Let us define our own 6th method. Click on new entries. Period control method 006. Period control method 006. Description 01/01/01 again /01. Description is equal to 01/01/01/01. 4 0 1s in between one slash. What is this 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1? Acquisition is equal to 0, 1. Additions is equal to 0, 1. Retirements is equal to 0, 1. Transfer is equal to 0, 1. That's why description I have given 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 with the slashes. Click on save. So what is this 0, 1 represents? It represents the time frame. And these keys were already defined in the system. 0, 1 means pro rata at the period start date. Pro rata at the period start date. Period means month, right? So at the beginning of the month, period start date means month start date. Means on any day of the month, you purchase the asset. The system will calculate depreciation from the beginning of the month. From the beginning of the month. For example, today 23rd December. So if you purchase the asset and post the acquisition today, the system will calculate depreciation from the beginning of December. Even if you post the acquisition on 31st December, system will calculate depreciation from the 1st of December. If that is the requirement, you enter 01 for acquisitions, additions. Additions also same case. Then retirement and transfer. Retirement means sale. So in the case of sale, you have to find out whether there is a profit or loss on the sale of asset. For that, what we do? You calculate depreciation from the beginning of the month in which it was sold. Then that is reduced from the net book value existing at the beginning of the month. Thereby, you find out the net book value as on the date of sale. So the net book value as on the date of sale is compared with the sale proceeds, and accordingly you determine whether there is a profit or loss. Means what you are doing here, we are calculating depreciation from the beginning of the month in which it was sold. So for retirements and transfers also I have taken 0, 1. So based on the client requirement, you take these keys, right? For example, pro rata up to mid period at period start date. What is the meaning of this? Pro rata up to mid period at period start date. What is the meaning of this? Here, on all the assets which you purchase up to 15th of the month, depreciation is calculated from the beginning of the month. Then on all the assets which are purchased after 15th of the month, depreciation will be calculated from the 1st of the next month. How do you know all these things, right? If you go to the path, here I am explaining one or two, but in the real time, how do you know what is the purpose of all these things, all these keys, right? See here, let us go to the path. SPRO, financial accounting, asset accounting, valuation, depreciation areas. No. SPRO, asset accounting, depreciation, ordinary depreciation, one second, depreciation, valuation methods, depreciation key, calculation methods. Yeah, here it is. See, SPRO, you can see in the path, yes, define period control methods. SPRO, financial accounting, asset accounting, depreciation, valuation methods, period control. Maintain period control methods. See, if you click on this help documentation, the system will tell you the purpose of all these icons. See, pro rata at the start of the period. Depreciation start and end date is always set to the beginning of the period in which the asset value date for the acquisition retirement lies. Pro rata at the start of the period up to the middle of the period. Depreciation start and end date is set to the beginning of the period for the transactions in the first half of the period. For the transactions in the second half, it is set to the beginning of the next period. Sometimes it is not sometimes, it is always difficult to understand SAP terminology, SAP explanation, right? But you have to do that. We can't help it. But when you when you go to the real time, all these things you can understand it clearly. So we have defined periodic control methods. Then depreciation key. This we will see in the next class, right? So again, we have the class on Tuesday morning Indian time. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we don't have the classes. We have the class again on Tuesday morning Indian day, USA day, Monday evening. Akila, you have any questions? Anil, Gadi,
Sir, if you want to settle AUC,
hmm,
if you post one general entry, that will be enough, right?
yeah. For one asset, one entry is posted.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Himasailaja, okay. Khalid, okay. Madhusudan, okay. Srinivas, okay. Tejaswini, Tejaswini. Tejaswini, can you hear me? Okay, then. Okay, okay. See you on Tuesday morning Indian day. Good night and good day.